this admission will always be a blessing to the city. Pray for the staff and pray for the board as a whole. In Jesus' name we do pray. Amen. Here.
Hallelujah.
I'm sorry, excuse me,
Commissioner King, Commissioner Hall,
Here?
Commissioner Joyner,
Present.
Mr. Bud.
Yeah, present.
Let it be noted that Commissioner Jones is absent today.
Five members, 4 members present, we do have a quorum to conduct business. And I'd like to offer the certification of record. Hereby certify that nothing has been discussed in the executive session held immediately before this open meeting, except those items specified and listed in the notice. May I have a motion?
Motion to certify.
Second.
Properly moved and second. Are there any comments or questions? If not, roll call.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Pastor Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner King,
Yes.
Commissioner Hall,
Yes.
Commissioner Joyner.
Yes.
Motion carried.
May I ask for an improvement, a motion to approve the minutes of September 4th?
So moved, Vice President.
Second.
Properly moved and second. Are there any comments or questions? And if not, may we have roll call?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Pastor Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner King,
Yes.
Commissioner Hall,
Yes.
Commissioner Joyner.
Yes.
Motion carried.
We have our claims, the corrected claims list. And Mr. AJ, you want to
Sure.
update us?
Yes, we have corrections to the claims list in the 229 unsafe building fund. The change from $570 to $1,645.25. And also the subtotal changed correspondingly from $38,570 to $39,645.25. And a grand total amount changed from $922,000, $967.79 to $924,000.
No, the other way.
Yeah. $924,043.04. Therefore, staff recommends to approve the corrected claims from September 4th to 9/24/043 and 4 cents.
Motion for acceptance of corrections.
Second.
Properly moved and second. Any additional comments or questions? Not hearing any, roll call.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Pastor Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner King,
Yes.
Commissioner Hall,
Yes.
Commissioner Joyner.
Yes.
Motion carried.
I believe Attorney King is grossly underpaid.
I agree with that.
All right, let's see, our claim list of September 25th, AJ?
Yes, in the 101 general fund, total amount of $50. In the 474 non-reverting fund, total of $9,917.50. And in the demolition fund, $7,257.52.
Motion for approval.
Okay. And second,
Second.
properly moved and second to approve the claims list. Questions? Roll call.
Thank you, Mr. Hall. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Pastor Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner King,
Yes.
Commissioner Hall,
Yes.
Commissioner Joyner.
Yes.
Motion carried.
And let's see, 25th special claims?
Yes, in the 823 consolidated TIF fund, claims to be paid in the amount of $12,000, and in the 826 lakefront TIF fund, claims to the amount of $60,566.10.
Motion for approval.
Second.
Motion and a second, roll call?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Pastor Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner King,
Yes.
Commissioner Hall,
Yes.
Commissioner Joyner.
Yes.
Motion carried.
And item 8, request of approval on resolution 6047. Overview?
Yes, on September 4th, you approved a new services contract with Mike Sitcher to provide planning and zoning support. The contract had the wrong hourly rate in it of $29. It was meant to be $36 per hour. The contract sum will remain the same of not to exceed $5,000 before December 31st of this year. So we're asking to amend the previously approved contract for the hourly rate that was erroneously put in.
Heard the overview?
Was that that just went unnoticed?
Correct. It was a typographical error,
Okay.
and since it was having to do with a dollar amount, and rather than it being a typical Scrivener's error, I thought it was appropriate to bring it back to the board to acknowledge that.
Okay, thank you. Motion for approval?
Second.
Properly moved in second, roll call.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Pastor Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner King,
Yes.
Commissioner Hall,
Yes.
Commissioner Joyner.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Request number 9, request for approval, resolution 6056. AJ?
Sure. The board originally approved this option agreement on July 27, 2018, and in order to have the project start date correspond with when they receive funding, they've requested an extension, for potential extensions to move forward with the project. Even though we anticipate the project moving forward, it's just to protect them so that the option doesn't run out before they actually receive their federal funds. They already are funded for federal tax credits. It's just lining up when the receipt of those funds will come in with the actual start of the project.
Heard the overview and the board's pleasure.
Motion for approval?
Second.
Properly moved in second, roll call.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Pastor Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner King,
Yes.
Commissioner Hall,
Yep.
Commissioner Joyner.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Item number 11.
Yes, this is a request to ratify and authorize the submission of an application for funding for community development block grant funding for the calendar year of 2020. The board, as part of the requirement for that application is to have that ratification of it. And this is, the funding that is used in accordance with CDBG for our demolition funds. And if we, I have Carol here to answer any additional questions you might have on the CDBG funds between Community Development Department as well as the GRC.
Then item 10.
What should I say? Yeah, item 10.
You said that.
I'm sorry, item 10.
So it's the first mistake you made since I've been around.
There'll be others. Thank you, Pastor.
Motion for approval?
Second. Properly moved in second on resolution 6057. Roll call.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Pastor Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner King,
Yes.
Commissioner Hall,
Yes.
Commissioner Joyner.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Resolution 6058. Number 11.
Yes, and Carol is here to go over that, but this is a interlocal between the city of Gary and the GRC as a short-term loan from GRC to the city to record mortgages in compliance with the hardship funds so that we can move those applications forward, get the buildings demolished, and have the contractors paid. To do so expeditiously, the city has requested that the Redevelopment Commission provide that short-term loan.
Motion for approval? One more?
We have a second. We have a second. Questions? Roll call.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Pastor Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner King,
Yes.
Commissioner Hall,
Yes.
Commissioner Joyner.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Item number 12, resolution 6059. Agent?
Staffing is requesting to award and transfer property to various property owners for the side lot program. The first being for Khaled Al-Sheikh at 723 West 5th and 7325 West 5th. Transfer award to Michael Monick located at 2461 Fairbanks, transfer award to Maggie Flowers, located at 363 Calhoun, and award Levon Whitaker at 777 Kentucky Street. And all these properties are part of the city redevelopment's side lot program. And here, I'll go ahead and come up and give a brief overview of the awards and how we went into the approval process.
We have entered into side lot contracts with the individuals for them to maintain the properties and keep the side lots up as they have already have been doing over the past several years, and we have now made it for them to be deeded over to them so that they can continue and put the lots back onto the tax roll for the city.
And there's for the 723 and 7323 and 7325 on Fifth Avenue. Are those two adjacent lots, or those?
Those are two adjacent lots. He already has a trucking firm on the one adjacent lots, and then he's now obtaining the other two adjacents to his trucking company.
So this is a commercial.
Truck?
So the satellite program is also available to businesses?
Yeah. I don't think so. Yeah.
With him, what it is with his company, he was already maintaining the lots. So he actually obtained those through the side lot program because his house is actually on one of the lots. So that's how he obtained it with the side lot. He has a home structure.
Okay, so
Let's
he's getting the side lot program approval because of his home.
Because of his
not
home,
because of his
exactly. He has a home there.
Just to reiterate, it's with the satellite program is with the purpose to take those properties put those properties back on the tax roll, correct?
Exactly. And he has a structure on the home. It's a home on the structure. That's how he qualified for the side lot.
But if somebody came there with business,
No, that
they
is a
couldn't get it,
purchase.
right? They wouldn't be available. They wouldn't be eligible for the side lot.
Exactly.
So the difference is that it's a home there.
Exactly.
Yeah, he maintains that as his primary
As his
residence.
permanent, exactly,
Okay.
yes.
For the overview and the added comments, board's pleasure.
Motion for approval?
Second.
Properly moved in second, roll call.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Pastor Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner King,
Yes.
Commissioner Hall,
Yes.
Commissioner Joyner.
Yes.
Motion's carried.
Item 14, resolution 6061. AJ, can you give us an update?
Sure. Staff is requesting to ratify and authorize an abatement agreement with Industrial Installation Solution Incorporated for various properties located in the city of Gary, effective July 23rd and expiring December 31st, 2019. This is a request for a not-to-exceed contract of $50,000. And, as the board is aware, on demolitions within the city, from time to time, when they begin work, as they get into the demolition, they'll find asbestos, and in order to expeditiously abate these properties and keep on track with the demolitions that we are trying to get accomplished before the end of the year, staff is requesting that we do a not-to-exceed contract so that every time there's one for $6,000 or $7,000, that it doesn't need to come before the board, so that Cedric and his crew can keep on working.
So what we're taking is 6060 and 6061 together?
No, those are still separate.
We didn't do 6060.
We're doing 6060 right now.
I thought you said 61.
Yes.
Oh,
Did I say 61?
Yes, you did.
oh, sorry,
One more, you have.
yeah, we're on number 13 right now, 6060.
Oh, okay. All right.
All right. Motion for approval?
Second.
Roll call.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Pastor Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner King,
Yes.
Commissioner Hall,
Yes.
Commissioner Joyner.
Yes.
Motion's carried.
We are now on 6061.
All right.
Yes.
Overview of page.
So I'll give the overview for 6061 and 6062. It'll be two separate motions unless Gilbert sees fit that you can do it together. Two separate houses, same company. First 6061 is 372 Jefferson Street, being demolished. Asbestos was found and had to be removed. And in order for the structure to be completely demolished, Staff is requesting that it be awarded to ChemCheck in the amount of $2,880 to abate the asbestos on site. And for resolution 6062, for structures located at 20 West 43rd and 28 West 43rd, being about asbestos was found on that site as well, and staff is requesting a contract in the amount not to exceed $3,400 for ChemCheck to abate the asbestos on that site as well.
Motion for approval
Wait, I
of
have a-
six
I have a
oh
quick
six one.
Who goes in and does the inspections? What department? Is that building safety that does that?
Well, Cedric, I believe, is, yeah, certified to, determine that there's asbestos on site. He's not a certified remover of it, either our on-site demolition crews. So,
Okay.
as far as assessing it, we do that in-house.
Yeah.
And then the abatement is done by certified contractors.
We doing both motions together?
Yes, we can do
I made
since
the
we go-
motion for 6061 now, to make it 6062 also.
Right,
Second.
same parties, same subject.
Then a motion on 6061 and 6062. You've heard the overview and comments. Roll call?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Pastor Johnson.
Yes.
Commissioner King.
Yes.
Commissioner Hall.
Yes.
Commissioner Coleman.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Item number 16, 6063. Overview, please.
Yes, these properties, 2174 Vermont and 1702 West 9th Avenue, are currently under the name of the City of Gary Department of Redevelopment, and we are transferring them into the name of the City of Gary Redevelopment Commission, which is the appropriate name for any properties under the control of the GRC. So this is a corrective action to allow us to properly dispose of them, so there's no questions or issues when any deeds are gotten to be recorded or if we dispose of the property.
Any questions, issues?
Make a motion to approve?
Yes. Properly moved in second to approve 6063. Roll call?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Pastor Johnson.
Yes.
Commissioner King.
Yes.
Commissioner Hall.
Yes.
Commissioner Coleman.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Item 17, resolution 6064. AJ.
Yes, staff is requesting to accept property located at 857 Delaware Street from private citizen DLRS Properties LLC. The intent is to add this to our land bank and to find a productive use for it in the future.
So this is being given to.
Given to the commission, and in the future, we'll hope to either consolidate it with another property or find another owner for it who will pay taxes on it.
Board's pleasure.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Roll call?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Pastor Johnson.
Yes.
Commissioner King.
Yes.
Commissioner Hall.
Yes.
Commissioner Coleman.
Yes.
Motion carried.
How often does that happen? First.
As far as people donating property to the city,
Yeah.
so we get, we'll get requests from time to time. We won't accept all of the requests, but when we find that it's a, piece of property that we feel that can be used for redevelopment purposes, either in the near term or in the future as part of land consolidation. So, I would assume, probably quarterly, we'd have, properties donated to the GRC.
This particular property also is in the Habitat area, over on the Emerson area. Habitat is looking to acquire more land over in that area, and they already have property across the street in the 800 block of Delaware, and they also are looking to acquire more over in that area, and that's one reason why we wanted to accept this property also.
I have a question. Now, when the citizen gives those properties to the redevelopment, taxes owed on those properties?
No, the board, if there's any taxes owed, then we'll work with Attorney King to have the taxes wiped out because we're a tax exempt entity.
I mean, is there a way for the citizen, private citizen, if all the taxes, if I give it to you, then that eliminates the taxes? That's what I'm saying.
That's correct. However, that's, not the,
Not the intent.
not the intent.
I guess.
Roll call?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Pastor Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner King,
Yes.
Commissioner Hall,
Yes.
Commissioner Warren.
Yes.
Motion carried.
This is on resolution 6065. Agent?
Yes, 6065, Norfolk Southern is granting $300,000 to the city of Gary in response to the closing of the Beeline. And the $300,000 will be deposited into the RDC non-reverting fund, and the city will set up a account separately for this $300,000 so that it can be spent out for $250,000 of demolition and $50,000 of flood elimination along that Beeline route. So I'd ask that the board approve the acceptance of that funds and the creation of the sub-account for that purpose.
Motion to accept?
Second.
Properly moved in second. Roll call?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Pastor Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner King,
Yes.
Commissioner Hall,
Yes.
Commissioner Warren.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Item 19, resolution 6066. AJ, over to you.
Yes, the city of Gary and I believe GHA and the GRC have received an award of $30,000 from AARP for a senior park on 7th and Broadway, which is directly across the street from Genesis Towers, or the former Gary Hotel. And this is to, just as the item before, be deposited into 474 and create a sub-account for specifically this senior park. So I request that the board accept the $30,000 into the 474 account and create that sub-account to accommodate that senior park.
Motion for approval.
Second?
Properly moved in second. May we have roll call, please?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Pastor Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner King,
Yes.
Commissioner Hall,
Yes.
Commissioner Warren.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Item 20, resolution 6067. AJ?
Yes, so last meeting you guys had approved a contract amendment for Saul Carlos for professional services, and in coordinating with the finance department, it was determined that it needed to be a brand new contract rather than a contract amendment, so that is why you see it in front of the board again. So we're asking for this resolution to approve a new contract with Saul Carlos and to also void the previous resolution from last month to not have redundancy. It's only one contract for $14,000.
Board's pleasure.
Motion for approval.
Second?
Properly moved in second. Roll call, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Pastor Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner King,
Yes.
Commissioner Hall,
Yes.
Commissioner Warren.
Yes.
Motion carried.
And this time that it does until December.
December 31st, yes. But it'll be expended.
Item 21, on change resolution 6052. AJ?
Yes. During the special meeting, and, reviewing the documents afterwards, staff had determined that we had double used resolution numbers. And what staff is requesting is to change resolution 6052 and resolution 6053 dated September 9th, 2019 to resolution number 6068 and resolution number 6069 to correct from the clerical error.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Properly moved in second. May we have roll call, please?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Pastor Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner King,
Yes.
Commissioner Hall,
Yes.
Commissioner Warren.
Yes.
Motion carried.
And item 22, public comments. 3 minutes, and on agenda items only. Mr.
President, yeah, I'd like to make a couple of brief comments. One regarding the award and transfer of real property from the city of Gary Redevelopment to private homeowners. I underlined it on the agenda. And then the award went to a property owner who does not reside, that is not a resident, doesn't have a home there, but instead is a business operation. And I think it's an improper use of the private homeowners side lot program to award these 2 important lots on Fifth Avenue for free to a business that's abusing the program. I'd also like to comment on item number 8, which was the amendment for Michael Citro's professional service contract. Allegedly, there was some error in it, but I would assume that Mr. Citro is responsible for his own signature. Certainly the document was there for him to correct at the time before he signed it. Having signed it and then coming back and wanting 25% more money sounds like the board is indiscreet with spending the public's money. Mr. Citro, if he can't read a simple contract and be responsible for his own signature, certainly shouldn't be given the responsibility of planning for the city, because I doubt that we could count on responsible, reliable work from Mr. Citro if he's not responsible for his own signature. It also mentioned on item 20, once again, a professional service contract has to be amended because of some errors on someone's part, providing an increase in the amount on this the new contract for Saul Carlos. So it appears that number one, we're bending the rules to accommodate certain people, and simply not holding others responsible for their own signatures. If I were a high-paid lawyer, I would understand that any contract you sign, you're responsible for the contract, 4 corners of that contract. And you can't come crying back to the poor people of Gary that you want 25% more money simply because you allege that it was some error. Instead, I would have simply told Mr. Citro and Mr. Carlos to man up a bit and be responsible for the actions that you take. Otherwise, maybe we just need to find someone who is responsible for their own signature. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You just want to keep going.
Do I still have more time? I should still have a little more time.
That was a rebuttal.
In a meeting, we can't put it up.
Adrian, what's your work?
Yes. So I provided to the board last meeting a preliminary notice for RFP of parcels, and I wanted to give the board an update. Originally, we were going to put out for just approximately 40 parcels with anticipation that the tax deeds would be issued in October. It turns out that they were issued sooner than we originally anticipated. So just wanted to update the board and get a affirmation of the addition of those 98 parcels that we received via tax deed to put them into one RFP rather than doing 2 separate RFPs. So if it would be the board's pleasure to, yes.
So we have to move for that?
You don't have to, but I prefer that.
To approve that.
Second.
Properly moved in second to approve. Roll call.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Pastor Johnson.
Yes.
Commissioner King.
Yes.
Commissioner Hall.
Yes.
Commissioner Jordan.
Yes.
Motion carried.
And for the public's record, we intend to run it in the paper on both 927 and 1011 in accordance with Indiana law for disposition of redevelopment owned properties. And in the RFP itself, it states that it can either be picked up available October 1st. And I'll also have it posted on the redevelopment portion of the website so that it's accessible to everyone.
Thank you. Yes.
That is all for right now.
Thank you very much. Commissioners' comments. Starting with
Well, Unless I'm mistaken, this business that was granted the sideline program, when Carol came up, I think I distinctly asked her, was there a house there?
Yes.
And she said that there was a house there, that's why he was granted the request.
But nobody lives there, he uses it for business.
Oh, he lives there too. That's his main residence.
Well, I just took the young lady's word for it, they gave us a report. She said that there is a house, and he was using it as his residence. That's the only reason we called for approval.
Yeah, that was
Thank you,
clarified.
Yeah.
Thank you, Pastor.
Thank you.
So yeah, I also think that the sole purpose of the sideline program is to, put properties back into the tax roll. So since she did confirm that there was a property which made him qualify to participate in this program, that was my question.
Thank you. Mr. Hall?
No comment?
And, thank you very much. I guess let's go to, Mr. Dodds first.
My comments is sort of limited. The Gary Community School Corporation has made a lot of improvements as far as the students and the academics for some of the changes that's been made by the administration. And I have a very positive outlook for the city of Gary.
Thank you very much. Just one comment, I'd like to wish our esteemed chairman very happy birthday on this very special day. So,
Happy birthday, Kenny.
any agenda items for the next meeting?
Not at this time.
May I have a motion for adjournment?
So,
Second.
Roll call?
yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, yes.
Commissioner King?
Yes.
Commissioner Hall?
Yes.
Commissioner Jones?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Let's stop here.
All right.
Thank you all.
Thank you, board members.
Look, we realize we got a long way.
Mr. Bidner, the
Shoes off of that.